Hi, and welcome to Alaskan in the Philippines. Today I thought I'd tell you all about my trip yesterday down to the zoo in Cham. But first, before last week, I chat this girl, this hairdresser friend of mine every day, and I ask her questions and stuff, and she's been showing me around Hue Hin. I asked her, is there elephants here? She says, you want to see elephants? I'll bring you to see elephants, okay? I was like, yeah. I go, do you ride them too? Can you ride them? She says, yeah, you can ride them too. I thought, wow, that's cool. I figured that might be neat, something exciting to do. I don't do much all week. So one day a week she could take off a long lunch. Usually she takes off for like 11 or 12 if she's got no customers. And then we'll go out for a few hours. And then she goes right back to work. She works every day. There's no days off. She works every day as a pedicure, manicure, and hairdresser. And so I looked in, I thought, okay, there's elephants here. So I researched, I Googled it, and sure enough, there's wild elephants here. And they see them once in a while. Just this May, a bunch of big herd came up to the road down here and people were seeing them. But there's wild elephants in Hue Hin. You can actually take a safari. There's a place you can drive to not far from here, I guess. And you can take a safari. I guess it entails riding around in the back of a pickup truck, and they'll show you the animals. You can't get out and walk around or nothing, but they'll bring you there. It's dangerous, I guess. So they'll bring you there, and it's like I forget how much, $70 or $120 or something. It's kind of expensive for an afternoon. You can go out and just look from, I guess there's a platform you can sit and look at a distance. I guess you probably need binoculars, but they say you'll see elephants right there. And they're wild. And then I thought about that, and I thought, well, and then but you don't ride them there. And I says, where are you going to go ride them? And she sent me the name of the place, and I Googled it, and read the reviews, and a lot of them said it was animals chained up on a short leash, and it wasn't very cool, and cruelty. And I'm not that big on the cruelty, but if they're mistreated, it would just be, it was sad to see. There was a lot of people said it was a 1-star, so it was sad to see. And she gets sad about the dead fish when the fishermen fish down on the beach. She's like, oh, it's bad. They kill lots of fish. She don't like that. So I figured she'd probably get sad. And I told her, I said, you might get sad if you see the elephants chained up. She says, yeah, okay, I'll bring you to another place. So she brought me to Cham Zoo somewhere. I don't even know the name of it, but it was down out in Cham. Her friend, she chauffeurs us around in her car, nice brand new car. And she brought us, she knows everything. We always stop and get something to eat on the way out. She's hungry, and I said, yeah, I'm hungry too. I didn't eat all day. So she's always does it. You want Thai food? And I said, yeah, Thai food. Okay. So she brings me to some bagel shop that just sells like pre-frozen sandwiches. Stupid food. And I didn't like it. Although they did have some really cool baked goods. They had like all these little pies, little small individual pies of every kind of flavor you could want. All kinds of berries and fruit pies, and just amazing amount of choices for them. And I can't eat pastries and stuff, but boy, they looked really delicious. But we ate there. She always wants spaghetti. For some reason, she'll say, I want pizza, and we'll go to a pizza place, and she'll order spaghetti every time. She's funny and hilarious, so it's fun. She's fun to be around anyway, and she's showing me around. So we're driving down to Cham, and she asked me out of the blue. She types on her. English is getting real good now. We don't have to use the translator much at all, but once in a while for serious stuff she do. And she typed on her phone and showed it to me. And she says, "Do you want to see my house?" I was like, "Oh yeah, you show me your house." And she says, "Yeah." I go, oh, "Okay, yeah." I go, "Do you have banana trees?" Yeah. Coconut trees? Yeah, she does. So it might be a cool little piece of land to see. I don't know if she's going to show me or not, but she asked me if I wanted to see. Because last time I mentioned something about your house, I asked her, do you have banana trees and coconut trees at your house? And she says, yeah, I do. So then she asked me this week if I wanted to see it. So I don't know when she's going to show me. But so we were headed to Chan. Before we got too far out of town, the driver, the girl who's driving, she goes, I mentioned her one time last week too. I said, you should drive Grab. Do you drive Grab? Because she's chauffeuring us around. She goes, no, I have a job. She says she has a job. And she couldn't quite relate where. But we were driving by. She goes, I work here. And she points at it. And I go, what is that? There's a big grounds, beautiful grounds and buildings back there. And she goes, that's the King's Palace. I go, really? You work at the King's Palace? Yeah, she does. She works at the King's Palace. The king has many palaces, I think, but they have some real beautiful grounds. You can tell when you drive by them, the gates are just cool, just immaculate, impressive. You know, you can tell a king lives here. But I guess one of the kings, this is their hometown. But anyway, she does some, I asked what she did, but somehow, something in the office, I think is what it sounded like. So she works at the King's Palace, and that was pretty cool. So we're driving out, and we go out to this zoo, and we drive back in this nice shady park kind of environment. It's really nice. And she dropped us off. And we walked down to this pavilion kind of thing, it's kind of going downhill into a slope a little bit. You can see there was cages and monkeys and stuff around. But we come up to this table and there was baskets of chunks of cucumbers and little tiny bananas, like the wild bananas or small ones they wouldn't sell, or bruised ones. They were all ripe and I would have ate them. They weren't no problem. But it was a whole big Easter basket full for 50 baht. It was to feed the animals. You could actually walk around the zoo and feed the animals. So I thought, all right, cool. And we walked down, and there was they had these Asian deer, all kinds of different kinds of these Asian deer. It was more of a sanctuary than a zoo. It didn't have a big choice of animals. It had a lot of monkeys that were problem monkeys or hurt monkeys. They would bring them there, or confiscated, mistreated, or mean, or something. Some had collars on them and stuff, you could tell. But we walked up to the deer pen at first, and they had all kinds of little deer. I mean, small little things. They looked like as big as a jackrabbit, or a rabbit even, you know. And they were hopping around, these deer. And then they had different size, bigger ones. And they had ones that looked as big as an elk, and they looked similar to an elk. They all had different, like some had fully hard horns, brown, already polished horns. One was rutting, you could tell. He was really rutting around, scratching the things with his antlers on the fence and stuff. And others were in velvet, different other species. I guess there's all these different kinds of Asian deer. And there was this one thing, I don't even know what it was. I got a video, I'll upload it. I couldn't read it, what it was in Thai. It was some kind of little, I don't know, some kind of little bear type thing, a little panda bear thing or some weird thing. I'll show you in a video. I'll upload a few videos after this. But then we fed some of the cucumbers and stuff to the deer. They would come right up and eat it through the fence. So we were feeding them. You could walk right up to the fences and everything. It wasn't real strict like American zoos were. And then we walked down, they had these huge birds, those ones that kind of like a Fruit Loop bird, like a toucan, but they live in the hollow log or something. They nest and fill it with mud or something. But these things were huge. They were big as a turkey, giant things. They were hopping around. The cage was a little small, but that was cool. They were cool. We walked up to the monkey cages, and there was these gibbons. We could they were across the moat. We could throw them cucumbers and bananas. There was a gibbon swinging around with this little baby hanging on it. It's really cool. The gibbons are cool. I really like them. And they had all the other different monkeys. I think there's long-tailed macaques or something. And we were walking through these other gibbon cages. They had some gibbons in cages. And the girl I'm with, the hairdresser, she started yelling this name out in Thai, and I didn't know what she was saying. She was running up to this gibbon cage and pointing at the gibbon and yelling at it, this word in Thai. I didn't know what she was doing. And she started trying to throw it food. She threw it a banana, but it wasn't interested. It just stood there, and she was looking at me and saying the name again. And then she finally calmed down and said, this monkey's from my neighborhood, from my house. I guess her neighborhood or something had this monkey in it, and it was hurt. She said it's handicapped, its arm is hurt. So it's here now. and I guess it's a sanctuary for this gibbon. She knew it, and that was her name, the name of the gibbon. She was yelling its name and trying to feed it. She knew that. And monkey freaked me out. How do you know? You happen to know a monkey in the zoo? That's pretty cool. but anyway, and that was pretty much it. They just had monkeys and deer and these weird, some little sleeping kind of monkey thing that was balled up in a corner you couldn't see, and the other thing was sleeping too, the little panda bear kind of thing. I don't know what it was. I'll upload some video of it, shorts of it maybe. Check my shorts sometimes. A lot of good stuff I upload is in my shorts. So yeah, that sounded weird, I know. And then that was about it for the animals. Oh, they had an elephant, a young baby elephant, and it was kind of sadly chained up. And it was sitting there, and I had food. I still had some food in my basket. We walked up, and then the trainer was right there, and there was a crowd of a few Thais. The place wasn't crowded at all. And I forgot, when we were walking through, I was like, do we pay? And she goes, no, it's free. I was like, really? A zoo, it's free? Yep, okay. We're walking around. It was cool. Nice shaded park. It'd be a great place. There was picnic tables. It'd be a great place to have lunch or dinner there. It was awesome. And the monkeys all squalling, the birds singing it, nice and shady with these big fruit trees. I see fruit hanging on them too. I asked her what they are. She didn't know. But yeah, and we walked up to this young elephant that was chained up, and there was danger, don't get close, signs up, do not feed the elephant. And I walked up, and I had a basket with some cucumbers still and a banana or two still in it, because I didn't know the zoo was ending. I was trying to save some. And there was just more deer after that. There was more different kinds of deer. They were in pens. They were big acreage pens. They could walk around all right. It was all right. And they all had food. Everything had hay and was in good condition. Nothing really skinny or anything sick or anything. They were pretty well taken care of and pretty much given them plenty of room. There was a few monkey cages that were a little small, but that was monkeys. They were probably problem monkeys, or they just let them loose, because like there's loose monkeys all over Thailand anyway. I'm surprised they didn't just have them loose. Probably because they'd be a little pain in the ass and to bother the people and steal and stuff. So they keep them caged up, I guess. I don't know. So we went up to this elephant there with all the do not feed signs and stand back, danger, and there was a bench there with a few Thais sitting there. There was, like I said, very few people there, hardly anybody. No foreigners. I was the only foreigner there. There was just hardly anybody, and it was a Saturday afternoon. So we sat there, and the elephant was doing this little jiggle dance and looking at me like this, and he was dancing for me, just doing this weird thing. He was on a chain. I was pretty kind of sad about it. The trainer was over there. He just took a big dump, and the trainer had his big scoop shovel, and it was coming up, scooping up the big dump. Well, this elephant was looking right at me, specifically doing this weird little jiggle dance, and he wouldn't stop. And I was sitting there watching him with my basket of food. And it didn't, I read the sign, you could not feed the animals. And all the Thais look at me, and they finally, after about 5 minutes of this poor elephant sitting there dancing, they go, you can feed the elephant. I was like, oh, really? The sign said you can no feeding. She says, yeah, you can. So I started throwing my food to the elephant, the cucumbers. And I'd make him over, just throw them to the concrete, and he'd pick them up with his trunk. He couldn't quite reach out and reach him. But it was close, and anyway, so I fed him all that. But he sat there and danced for me. It's kind of sad. And then the trainer made him lay down. The trainer had him lay down, and he laid right down, and the trainer got on top of him and laid on him, and got up, patted him, and the elephant got up again. So that was the show. But you could tell it was kind of a smallish elephant. It must have been a young elephant. Oh, I don't think it was chained up there all the time, probably just for the day show or whatever. But it was a pretty cool little elephant. So anyway, I got to see an elephant out of the deal. And then after that, there was just more pens of deer. They were all feeding. They had all kinds they had hay cut. All of them had a big pile of hay they were eating out of, so none of them were hungry. And pretty cool little zoo for free. And that was about it. We just headed back. She had to go back to work. And on the way back, she pointed at a buffet, and she says, 290 baht buffet. Really good one. I said, oh, yeah. I want to go, yeah. So we'll go sometime. We'll go to that buffet. But I always love these Thai. I've got to see some of them. They've got to be good. I went to that one all-you-can-cook buffet, and that was just all the ingredients. You can cook anything you wanted and eat as much as you wanted to, and that was good. But it'd be good to go to a cooked all-you-can-eat. I says, is there seafood? She says, yeah. So for 290 baht, that's like $9. We'll go there and eat all we can eat. If there's good seafood, it'll be worth it. Even good Thai food, it'll be worth it. But Thai food's so cheap here, 40 baht, you can get a meal that's $1.10 or $1.20 or something like that. It's pretty cheap to eat. But yeah, these, I want to see, they might have lobster or something good. Big prawns for sure. I'm sure they'll have all the good Thai dishes, pig and lechon and everything else. But anyway, that was my trip to the zoo for yesterday. It was good. It's always good to get out with her, and her English is getting really, really good. And her friend's English is getting really, really good. They always hit me up for a few words in English to learn when they're with me. Like yesterday on the way home, the driver pointed at the stoplight. She said, stoplights? I said, yeah, stoplights. She was happy she got that. She knew it. She was learning it. She said good, almost perfectly. I say it a couple times just so they can hear me say it, so they can adjust it if they think it's wrong or anything. But yeah, she hit it pretty good, stoplights. So they're learning English. I'm still not learning any Thai. One word at a time, about one a month I think I can pick up. But anyway, that was my outing for the week. She'll be busy all week again, and she'll plan us another outdoor activity for next weekend, and I always look forward to it. It's a pretty good day to get out and do something for myself even. So, well, I hope you enjoyed it. If not, get your money back. We'll see you. Thanks, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.